This is Paul Newman, and if you are seeing this screen, I am hoping to. Hello, everybody, and welcome to everybody tuning in here on YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for taking the time to join me. It's very much appreciated. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to take a quick look at Longchamp Park weekend just to see what's going on with the Classic Watch horses here on the YouTube channel. Not a lot of the 2-year-old action has been moved to Patreon this year, but we're still going to do the 25 possibles, the Classic Watch 25 possibles. I think there's 8 horses already on the site from the UK, Ireland and Australia. We might have a few more after this week, without any shadow of a doubt. Right, well, what I'm going to do is, before that, classicwatch25.great/site.net has finally got some horses on it. Only Australian trained horses at the moment, but the roll of honour is starting to take shape with the horses that are already on the site ahead of possible tilts at upcoming Australian classics. classicwatch25.great/site.net. Right, I'm going to start with the 2-year-old races at Longchamp because they're the ones I'm most interested in. The first race for the fillies, 12:55 on Sunday. The Qatar Prix Marcel Boussac, and I think the favourite has scared a couple off here. I've got some nice fillies in France, I think. But Zarigana, of course, is a top-class prospect. Winner of the Group 3 Prix du Mal, that's only allocated a mark of 104. Got other horses such as Bedtime Story, who looks very progressive earlier in the season. The sister to Content, who won the Yorkshire Oaks and was Classic Place this year. Now, they're 2 Classic Watch possibles that we've got. And also turned up as Lakpa has turned up. Lakpa is a half-sister to Beauvatier, who is currently unbeaten but faces a massive step up in class. People look at her Bedtime Story. She's at last behind Lake Victoria, the Cheveley Park winner in the Moyglare Stakes. They've decided to keep her upper to a mile for the first time in her career, scintillating in the Chesham, running to a mark of 110. Since then, 2 solid performances at Group 3 and Group 2 level to take those races out. And I'm hoping that she can bounce back. If she was to win this race, there'll probably be a video on her done, because it'd be rude not to chance her after the exploits of her older sister Content this year, especially if she was a Group 1 winning 2-year-old. That would do no bad at all. Lakpa, like you say, interesting pedigree, without any shadow of a doubt, sired by Siuni. Beauvatier is a solid horse, and she deserves a chance to be on the possibles list, but Beauvatier was well beaten in the Lagardère last year, and maybe the same fate will befit this one. Who knows? Zarigana, on the other hand, absolutely fantastic pedigree. You'll see Zarkava is the second dam of the horse. Zarkamaya was a good filly in her own right, very lightly raced. She went round well, lovely at certain times. That was when I first started watching racing properly. She was going round. Very well-bred horse, Zarigana. And I would say, looking at what's turned up, considering the questions about Bedtime Story after her last run, you have to say that she goes there a worthy favourite on the day, without any shadow of a doubt. The Lagardère for the Colts at 1:30 over 7 furlongs. Again, an interesting race, full of Classic Watch possibles. We've got 5, I think we're looking at in this race. Field of Gold has done nothing wrong at all, apart from get beat first time out. Done well in his next 2 starts. Good win last time over Matawi Bay, who to me, it could be a good horse. Group 3 winner last time in the Solario, I think that was, yes. Omri Matisse again seems to have flattened out, doesn't he, after his great performance, 109 in his second start. His last 2 starts have only been rated 110. And rather like Bedtime Story, his defeat in the National Stakes to Scorthy Champ has done him no favours whatsoever. And I'm sure Connections will be hoping that he bounces back. He's actually related to Tenebrism and Statuette. Horses like that. Henri Matisse, very good, very well-bred horse. Another one, the French, I think, could have a stronger hand. Oh, yeah, we've got a Camille Pissarro as well. Field of Gold is a very interesting horse. I can't quite remember what he's bred to off the top of my head, Princess de Lune is obviously the dam of the horse. We'll try, it's from Princess Serena's line, and there's some incredible American horses on that line as well. They're all rated above 84. All the three that have ran out of the dam. I think when people click on the second dam, things start to reveal themselves. You got horses like Zabeel Prince in there. Look, Puissance de Lune. Oh yeah, Queen Power. That's a big filly that went round to quite a level of solidity. Serena's sister is the one. I think we're going to have to go back now, aren't we? Be rude not to. You see, all the black type is starting to really reveal itself. Got doubles partner. Serena's sister, I think, was herself top class, wasn't she? Fairly certain she was. And then there's other horses like Miss Serena and other horses on that line as well. Very well, interesting horse. Field of Gold, Henri Matisse, we know, related to quite good horses recently. Oh yeah, we've got Camille Pissarro has decided to turn up. It's been beaten in so many pattern races though, and sales race. Last time out, disappointing. This horse has been beaten in so many pattern races and is looking quite an exposed horse now. The French have got a fair hand, I think. Hucateau, however you pronounce it, by Wotton Bassett. Alexandrova is the second dam of that horse. That was an Oaks winner. It's a very, very well bred horse. That's an interesting one. That is, definitely. And Misunderstood as well is interesting. That's from the family of Woolgeist and all them, some top class horses on this line. Side by Hello Youmzain, the second one on this year we've looked at. After Electrolyte, who's looking like being a bit of a sprinter. But yeah, very interesting horses for the French there in that race as well. Hucateau and Misunderstood. Now I'm going to run through all the other horses. These are mainly 3-year-olds and above. Well, they are 3-year-olds and above. Starting on the Saturday, we've got 2 in the 325. Make Me King. I thought he ran quite well last time out to win that Group 3. I also thought he ran quite well that day when he set a good pace and his stablemate come through nicely, English Oak, to win at Royal Ascot. Since then, he's won a handicap in Newcastle, and has won a Group 3. This horse wasn't far behind Continuous at 2. Beaten a length at 2 as a Group 3 level. Gelding now, obviously, but I think his form holds up, and the horse is improving. If people look, not without hope, I think, in this horse, in this race. Make Me King. The other one that's turned up is Ramadan. Ramadan is a solid horse, but he is what he is, I think. He's won 2 Group 3s in a listed race. Beat Beauvatier there at Longchamp. But whenever he steps up in class, he seems to be found wanting, unfortunately. I think this race is a Group 2, isn't it? No, I think he is what he is. I think it'd be a poor race if he was to win it because he is quite an exposed horse. And I think there might be others a bit better than him on the day, including that other one that we've got, hopefully. Port Fairy has turned up in the 4 o'clock. Since I've identified her when she won the Ribblesdale, she beat 2 horses in 2 races. She needs to improve. I did like the pedigree of this one when I looked at it, but was I right to dismiss her when she was beaten by Forest Fairy at Chester? But the Ribblesdale and the way the Irish Oaks turned out, we had to chance Summit. So she's managed to get on the list by default, really, but since then, very poor. Continuous, I think, is going to run in the Arc. Got 5 in the Arc, that have been sniffing about, really, all season. Continuous, obviously, won a Group 3, but was then well beaten in the trial by Iracine, 3rd in the Group 2, Pre-Foy, for the older horses. It's also well beaten at Ascot in the Hardwick. But last season he was okay, 5th in the race last year, and obviously a St Ledger winner. Safe to say this season hasn't quite worked out the way I was hoping for Continuous. Shin Emperor from Japan is a very well-bred horse. That's actually related to Sotsas and Sister Charlie and horses like that. Very well-bred horse and ran an absolute belting race. Went 3rd behind Economics in the Irish Champion Stakes. His trouble is he can't win. He actually won then the Group 3, but if I was doing 2-year-old races last year, doing them this year, he won the Kyoto Nisei, then I'd have picked him up then. But this year, he's been second in the Deep Impact Kinen. He's fifth in the Japanese 2,000 guineas, third in the Japanese Derby. But then, that 1-2-2 behind Economics seems to leave that form well behind all. They've underrated those races. One or the other has to be true. He was also just behind Regulera if he'd have beat Regulera that day as well. At 2, Regulera actually got on the channel after winning the Hopeful Stakes. A race that, touch wood, I am planning on looking at every single runner in this race this year. And the same with the other for the Colts or the fillies. And hopefully we'll get a few more Japanese horses next season. Shin Emperor, very fascinating contender. Delius, sort of a hype horse, wasn't he? And earlier in the season, won his first 3 races, won the Group 3 by 2 lengths, the Prix de Lis. But since then, he's been beat by Sozi and twice. 115, 119. The horse is still improving. But Sozi, who's a well-bred horse in his own right, but from a damn line that I've chanced in a couple of years ago, but not so much this year. Might be back in favour next year if Sozi wins the Arc. Because I found a couple that are on it as well at 2 that I am watching. But yeah, Delius, I don't know. I suppose a lot of people in France wouldn't be surprised if this horse won, if people look at the way it's been campaigned. But yeah, it's Al Jazzy is in the pedigree of that one. So you can never rule out Delius. But he was never once entered in a classic. Grand Prix de Paris is not a classic, is it? So I knew that he was always going to be struggling to get a video, the lad. Classic Watch 2020 Classic Watch winner this year. Los Angeles must be a leading contender in this. Although Shin Emperor actually beat Los Angeles over 1 mile 2 furlongs at Leopardstown. But his win over the Voltage, where Illinois is in the race on Saturday, a warm order for that. The Group 2 race, can't remember what it's called now. But he won the Irish Derby, and he was also third in the UK Derby. Very good horse. Los Angeles, Group 1 winning 2-year-old over 1 mile 2 furlongs in France. I mean, he looks a solid contender, doesn't he? The son of Camelot. How will he handle the day? Will the day get to him? You've seen him sort of play up a little bit in the stalls in the past, haven't you? But it's safe to say I don't think it's affected the way the horses ran in the slightest. Aventura is the last one. First time it seems to be running without the pacemaker, Half Day, who I also identified Half Day as not being proved good enough. But Aventura's ran some good races. 7 lengths, scintillating victory there in the Group 3, Prix de Royaumont. And then she was 4th behind Sparkling Plenty in the French Oaks. Then she won again. She won the Group 2, Prix de Pomont. That was a good performance that day, a very cosy victory against the field that what it was. But then she ran to 117, went second behind Blue Stocking in the Group 1 Prix Vermeil, the trial for this, really. Although it is a Group 1 race in its own right. I mean, I'd love this horse to run well. I like this horse. It's run well. It's from a line that I've been following for a while. And yeah, very good horse. Sired by See the Stars. I like this horse, and hopefully she runs well. On other races on the Sunday, we've got a few. It's fair to say 3 in the Opera, including the French Oaks winner, Sparkling Plenty, who won the Oaks. Since then, she's been beat by Opera Singer and Blue Stocking. Her best figure of 115 isn't really as high as some of them that we've seen that have won classics in the past. But she's a good solid filly. Quite a bit exposed now, but the damn Spirulita is very well bred. And they do take racing. They've raced all over the world. And I think she'll run a good solid race. Can she bounce back? I think it'll be a good training performance after the season. She's had a good long season. She's been on the go since February. And she's been a credit to Connections. They go to the well one more time. Ylang, disappointing filly. How she is 7-2 for this race, I do not know. 4th behind Porta Fortuna in the Matron, I'm going to say that race was, yes. Well, that was her best run of the year, according to no, it wasn't. She ran to 110 in the UK Guineas. The second best run, but to me, this filly's mile winner has fallen short this year. Can she bounce back this year? Time will tell, but she's running out of time this year, isn't she? Interesting that they've upped her up in trip again. The last 2 runs have been at a mile. This one is at 10 furlongs. Can she come good for connections? I think they would be delighted if she did. The same could probably be true about Friendly Soul, another one from a line that I've been following for a very long time. And Friendly Soul has done very little wrong since the Musidora, where she fluffed her Oaks lines. But again, if you look at the form, 109, 109, 111, when she beat Birth in the Group 2, pre-Alex Head. I don't know what that race used to be called. But to me, she's not really kicked on, has she? I was hoping to get her a bit higher than that. I suppose I'll have to rate her a bit higher than that if she was to take this race out, the Kingman side filly. But she's won 4 out of 5 races, and impossible to think that people have seen the best out of her, isn't it, really? The Foray, got 3. These are the last ones. Beau Vattier, my old mate Beau Vattier, has turned up in the Foray. I think this is a solid horse, an underestimated horse. You know, it's a Group 3 winner and a listed winner at 2. Although the form is what it is, third behind Rosalien, when actually the even money favourite in the Lagardère, but no match for the horse on the day. He's also beaten by Ramadan. Poor run in the French Guineas, went 12th. Since then, though, the horse has gone off double-figure prices there and finished running well. Solid horse, 111 in its last 3 runs. Dropped to 6 furlongs last time out in the Group 3. Pre-Demotri behind Spycatcher. And hard to say, really. I think he might be exposed again in this Group 1. But then again, I thought the last year's winners also turned up. Kalina. She won the race last year. It took a mark of 115 when she beat Kinross last year. But this year, I'm not sure whether she's the same horse. She has been very highly tried, running to a better of 109. But even then, she was only 6th out of 7. And she was 6th behind Tribalist as well in the Prix-Moulin. That was a very average run, it's fair to say. But when she won the race, she was 28 to 1 last season. So dismiss her at your peril. That's all I'll say. But Ramat Chouel makes her eagerly awaited return in the Foray. I don't know where this horse has been. Maybe they've just decided to give her a good long break after she was beaten behind Porta Fortuna at Ascot. Again, another one that hasn't improved at all on a 2-year-old form of 112 behind Van Dijk, but who is now retired in the pre-morning, I think that was, yes. But before then, Group 3 and Group 2 wins as she liked, by 5 lengths and 4 lengths. She was second she hasn't won a race this year, second in the Pre-Imprudence, third in the UK Guineas, behind Almalka. And we were going to look at it in a minute, because I just remembered she's in another race. And then she was third in the Coronation Stakes, 112 at 2 and 3. I think she needs to find some improvement from somewhere to maybe take this out. You know, interesting that Aurélien Lemaitre regains the ride from Oisin Murphy after Royal Ascot. It'd be intriguing. I thought he gave it a very dubious ride in the UK Guineas. But before then, he'd set the horse up. I'm sure, hopefully, we'll see how she's ridden. Very interesting. And also, I'm going to touch on that one at Newmarket that I've just seen, Almalka. Sun Chariot, 2:40 on Saturday at Newmarket, another Group 1 race for fillies. Almalka, when she won the UK Guineas, I was hoping she might go for the French Oaks and then I could sneak a video on her. But it never quite happened. She went for the Nassau instead. And she went for the Coronation. She was actually 4th in the Coronation and in both races actually there. 113. This horse is actually related to Ben Battle. Ben Battle's a good solid older horse in the day, wasn't he? In many a country and continent. So this horse has only had 5 runs in her career. So I do think there's plenty of racing left in her. I do hope they don't retire her at 3, but you can understand why they did. The daughter of Kingman. But Almalka, again, yes, in the Sun Chariot, the 2:40 at Newmarket, is another one that Classic Watch has been sniffing around all season without getting a video done, unfortunately. Right, I'm going to end this video here. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. I think we've got some very interesting horses running this weekend, and hopefully they all run quite well. Yeah, it's a big weekend, this, in Europe. So what I will do is I'll leave a copy to the Classic Watch 25 Possibles playlist that is already gathering horses on already. I'll leave a copy of that so people are able to watch that playlist. And I will also leave a copy of the opportunity for people to subscribe to the channel as well, if they've watched this video and they've chosen not to subscribe to the channel, I'll give them an opportunity to do so. Why not? Leave your horses in the comments. What 2-year-olds in Europe are you most looking forward to watching this season? Let's get some really decent 2-year-olds in the comments and try and nail down some more horses as we come to the end of the European flat season. Thank you very much, everybody, for taking the time to watch this video. It's always very much appreciated, as always. Enjoy the weekend coming up. I'm going to leave this video here. Racing all around the world, really. I'm just about to go and look at three races containing unraced Australian 2-year-olds. Their pattern starts. Possible Classic Watch 2026 horses. This is where Manal was identified, and Group 1 winning 2-year-old, and she's also a Group 2 winning 3-year-old. So who knows what's in store for tonight. There's also, I've not even looked at Japan yet. We've got Grade 1 racing in America as well. 5 2-year-old races. Things really are starting to get interesting now. That was quite an informative 30-second waffle at the end of the video for the opening screen, wasn't it? By my standards. I'm going to leave this video here now. Take care, everybody. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy your weekend, and goodbye.